Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News and plenty of interesting topics to dive into today. Zombs, formerly on the Sentinels starting roster, had a very interesting few words to say on the prize pool that Riot were dishing up for the Champions event last season, saying that actually a lot of the prize pool was taken away from the players to pay for some of their operating costs at the event. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. On the verge of 16k, love to see it. Thanks for all the support. Firstly, TSM, they've qualified for the VTD. Can you believe it? They're very happy about it. This also just to mention from Mel, she's on the C9 white team. They well, the female roster of course that they have, considered to be the best female player in the world. She's been pretty much demolishing people. I believe she got a trial with KCP, the Kansas City Pioneers, quite a while ago. JC Starney reckons she's an incredibly talented player that could be on a team better than Cloud9 White, right? And that's kind of an interesting statement has been, is she going to stay on the kind of female roster, be the best female player in the game, or is she going to think bigger and potentially join another organization and try and work her way up into tier 1, challengers, masters, this type of stuff? That's kind of what she implies here in the article. She's not, or it's not really an article, it's a tweet logger, right? But she kind of says, look, I'm not satisfied with where I am right now. Maybe Cloud9 White and maybe Cloud9 as an organization is the way to take me where I want to be, but I'm not satisfied effectively with how it is. My goal is to win major championships and compete with the best players in the world, be it with Cloud9 or elsewhere in the future. If you don't think I'm capable of doing that, I strongly welcome your criticism and doubt. I don't think anyone is hating if you don't think I'm good enough. I would love to prove you wrong one day. I really love this attitude, actually. What I do care about, though, is making my goals and motivations perfectly clear. I'm not competing for the money, for the Game Changers prize pool, or being the best female player on the best female team, and neither are my teammates for that matter. I'm not a complacent person. I'm not satisfied. I have very steep goals for myself. I appreciate everyone arguing passionately about what's best for me financially, but I promise you all that I'm going to manage staying afloat, and there is no one in a better position to understand my value and earning potential than me at the moment. There's been lots of talk about what she should do. She should just stay in Game Changers, like that's maybe what's best for the money situation, but of course, look, she's got higher goals and visions, which you got to respect. The goal of Cloud9 White was to give us top-level support so my teammates and I have the tools to improve over time and achieve our goals. The end game was never Game Changers. I'm never just sitting on a paycheck. I've never sat back and thought, okay, that's good enough. When the decision is in my control, I'm always going to choose that which puts me in the best position to achieve my competitive goal. So really cool stuff. Like, we'll see what this means for her going forwards, but it would be really interesting to see if she got an opportunity on a team outside of just Game Changers. Let's talk about this then from the OpTic side, because they were discussing their frustrations with the Neon Nerf, and it was kind of considered, okay, is it a nerf, is it a buff? Now, well, Victor, of course, we played an awful lot of it at the most recent event at the Masters, which of course OpTic won, and Victor's Neon was a pretty important part of that. They've been very frustrated indeed with the nerf. This is what Ye says: thank God they nerfed Neon, this was getting out of hand. This is kind of average pick rate across all major tournaments. You guys can see very clear idea. Sova, Jet, way at the top. Astra, of course, this is like all majors right so far, so not just considering the most recent one, but obviously you can see that Neon is right down here at the bottom with Yoru, like a Brimstone not too far above. But like, yeah, Neon obviously didn't get picked that much this event, like in relation, of course, to previous events. She wasn't even there as an option, but like, I mean, yeah, Ye's looking at this and saying, well, look, hang on a second, like, why if they nerfed it, right? And there was basically no one who was even using it effectively, and then, well, Victor certainly echoes their statements. He reckons also the energy uses increased and no wall damage was a hard nerf, not gonna lie. So they got, this is the actual changes, and the key ones, Ye is mentioning the fact that it does no damage to either allies or enemies, but also the fact that the energy usage has increased significantly is making Victor and the OpTic guys very frustrated with this nerf. This is what Victor has to say, effectively saying, look, why did they even do this? This was not required at all.
I'm out of here.
Changes feel? I think it's a nerf, slight nerf. The main reason why I feel like she's a nerf is the bar, the drain on the bar. So much. You run out of sprint juice? Nah, before the nerf, I rarely ran out of juice. Unless I was like running for an actual really long time.
I have flash.
It's pretty rare I ran out. The Neon did not need a nerf. What? There was like 2 Neon players in the tournament. Or maybe 3. I think myself, Forsaken, and Soulcast used Neon ever in that tournament. I think. Should not need a nerf. And like we barely use them too. Was the one yeah. The one actually did like a decent amount of damage. If they sat in it for a long time, it did like 100 damage, I think. So if they sat in it, like sitting in it is not, like it does too much damage to sit in. That's why people just run through that shit now. Yeah, I'm not sure why they chose Neon. I didn't expect a nerf or like even a buff if you want to consider it a buff. But I didn't expect it to be touched for a while. I think the slide was fine before. I didn't have a problem with it. This is why Neon is not busted. I need a team built around me. She is not busted. Don't nerf her, please. Give me back the damage on the wall, please.
Let's dive into this Sentinel Zomb stuff then. So of course we saw not too long ago, Zomb steps out of the starting team and well, Kanbeki comes in. They failed to qualify as we looked at yesterday, of course, and it's been a very busy last few days with the qualifiers going on. And then well, the second round of qualifiers is coming up rather soon indeed. But of course, Zomb steps away. Whether he was the problem with the team or not, that's certainly a debate that will continue to be raging on over the coming days. But what he really does have to say a few days ago was with regard to the prize pool at the most recent event. So I believe here he's talking about champions. This might also be relevant for other events that went on earlier last season due to the kind of, well, the tests that were required, the protocols and stuff that they had in place. But yeah, what Zombs has to say, effectively, I'll share the clip for you guys in a second, that the prize pool that were promised to the players was actually reduced effectively after the event. The prize pool that they were meant to be having, Riot then said that when, okay, they would come to actually dishing out the prize pool, yeah, we're not going to be able to give you that full amount because we've got to pay for additional costs due to the kind of tests and stuff that we weren't maybe expecting or whatever that would have to be going down. So, really strange one, but so yeah, this is what Zombs has to say.
Holy shit.
You know, Riot took money out of the prize pool for their like cost and like.
Wait, really?
Like we got thousands of dollars less because they took money out of the prize pool to support all the COVID tests and random costs of their tournament. Like, okay, what does the prize money have to do with the tournament?
And charge you
and
for
then,
running the tournament?
Yeah, and then give less prize money.
Is that a leak or is that?
No, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Maybe just pay the actual prize money and it wouldn't be an issue. Whose problem? Whatever's gonna happen to me?
I'm pretty sure that's like a leak.
Who cares? What is the leak? What's gonna happen? We have suspended Zombs for saying we're not paying out all the prize money.
This is kind of the transcript of it, right? And he says, yeah, basically it is a leak, right? Like, no one said it before, but what's going to happen with suspended Zombs? But of course, it doesn't even play anymore anyway. But yeah, they took prize money out, or they took money out of the prize pool to support the COVID tests and the random cost of their tournaments. Like, what's going on there, right? Why is the prize money kind of aligned to this? What's the point of having prize money if you're not going to have enough, to pay elsewhere? So, it seems a really strange one, to be honest. Now, even Richard Lewis, you're like, look, let's be honest. Richard Lewis, if there's a chance to bag on Riot Games, he's not usually going to back away from the opportunity to do so. And he says right here, it's coming from the same source, talking about Zombs here actually, that said I took money from Cloud9 to report on the iBuyPower match fixing story though, so liberal pinch of salt probably required. I'm not familiar with Zombs' kind of part to play in the whole iBuyPower thing, but effectively Richard Lewis is applying that a few years ago when Richard Lewis kind of broke the iBuyPower match fixing story, that effectively Zombs was basically saying that Cloud9 had paid him to do that, right? Which seems highly doubtful to be the case. So Richard Lewis is like, okay, Zombs says this, but it's maybe not guaranteed to be true, and that's the thing. Like if Richard had heard anything about this, right, and like Riot Games actually were doing this, then you'd imagine that some sort of leak might have come out from the journalist, because it seems rather unacceptable from my perspective. So Sentinels did fail to make it out of the groups that event. I think they lost to Crew Esports or whatever it was to fall out of the tournament. They made $20,000 prize pool for this event, so between the five of them, I guess that's $4,000 each. You've then got to consider like some tax does come off that, then the organization will generally take some cut of that as well. Like I wonder like if Zombs is fully clear on what the cut was from the organization, but usually the org will take some money, tax of course takes some money as well, but and then of course they're left with something or other. Now you thought they'd have been left with slightly more than $1,000 each. This is gonna apparently what he also went to say on stream. The players got like 1k each since Riot took a percentage. The org also took some out. So I think he believes that this 20k, the fact that it was 4k each, then whatever taxes and whatever, and then like the organization themselves, then Riot, like he reckons that Riot must have been involved here to drop that all the way down to 1k each, which is pretty tough, right? If you get 20k prize pool, you get 1k each. Not so ideal. Of course, if you'd have placed better, they'd have got more money. But yeah, that's certainly what he believes on the matter. So definitely intrigued to your perspective on this. Like, I mean, look, I hope we get to find more about this, honestly, over the coming days, because we haven't really heard this from anyone else outside of Zombs. Like, Richard Lewis isn't convinced this is the case. I haven't heard anything or seen anything really from George Geddes or any of the other reporters in the scene as of yet. So, like, we'll see. Just seems really strange to me if this is the case that Riot were doing this. Maybe there's another explanation, but, well, certainly intrigued to your perspective in the comment section below. Speaking of Sentinels, wanted to mention this, because I believe we looked at something like this not too long ago. And, well, it certainly hasn't changed anything at all here. This is the open qualifier round 1. This is well, how often did teams win maps when their primary duelist had an ACS less than 275? This kind of backs up the whole TenZ and friends idea. So TenZ here, 67% of the time he has above 275 ACS, they win the map. Like I'm saying with kind of, you know, Penny and Zelsa's, I guess, it's kind of difficult to determine exactly, like, how that works on these teams, or like which players are on particular roles. But for Sentinels and TenZ, it's relatively clear who the primary duelist is. But yeah, when he has above 275 ACS, they win 67% of their maps, and when he doesn't, they win only 33% of their maps, which really goes to show that, like, he is practically their only win condition, which isn't, of course, ideal. He did have great stats, of course, this event. babybay with a 1.36 in terms of, I mean, you know, 1.28 here for TenZ, like at Dicey as well, 1.25. So babybay and Dicey, they pretty much put the team on the back to get FaZe all the way through to the stage 2 for challenges. But yeah, many of these players are on teams that actually didn't qualify, right? So that's the thing. You're looking at Thief, right? You're looking at Sniper, Zell, Driz, like Ban, of course, on the Knights, like and JC Stani on Gen.G. These are teams that didn't qualify for their first time round. So Sentinels, 100 Thieves, they're going to find themselves in a very competitive bracket once again next time around to see if they can qualify once more. But 4 teams have a chance in just a couple of days' time. May the 5th, everything kicks off once again. And again, just to finish up with a nasty ace right here. But very much enjoyed your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on that like button. Tell us your YouTube gods, this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I hope grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you next time.